Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you guys can probably hear the AC in the back of my audio, but it's really hot, so I'm not gonna turn it off. Things have been pretty heavy still, so I'm going to try and keep the focus on my art this week, and on the paint specifically. I hope you guys are all doing well and that you're staying healthy. I'm going to have the same links in my description as what I had last week, so if you guys could check them out, and if you've got the money to donate to try and help out. Protect yourself, stay safe, stay healthy. This video today is going to be a focus on the ever-loved Magello Mission Gold in the single pigment set. It is a different iteration of the single pigment set than what most people think of. And it has a few different reds and a few different greens, if I remember the differences between the two. It's got a few less reds than what the original version of it that came with the specific palette did. I'm not swatching every color of it in this video, and I'm not going to really go into an in-depth review in terms of like the pigment, the light fastness, and stuff like that. I'm going to mainly talk about the paints and how they interacted with my personal style of painting. It's personal feel of the colors I used in this piece, and I've been playing with all of the paints for a few weeks now, so I have a better understanding of what I feel about them. I definitely enjoy them. They have a really heavy pigment load and they're super vibrant. The biggest point that I'm stuck on is the fact that they don't have a lot of flow. It's a blessing and a curse, depending on what I'm trying to do. They kind of stay right where I put them, and I can reliably push them and pull them around the paper and the water, and I'll know exactly where they're going to go and where they'll stay. But it can stop a lot of the organic texture that I've been loving in my watercolors lately. They're really great for getting smooth washes and gradients, and with some work, I've kind of figured out how I like approaching it with my layers. The way that it's so like smooth, it really helps me get certain details down where I know exactly how I want them to look and where I want them to be, and I don't want them to spread. I added them to my professional palette, which I'm making an entire video on, which will be either up next week or the week after. I want to make it really in-depth and explain my color choices and the pigments and stuff like that. So it might take a little bit longer because it's so information heavy for me to be able to really research and script it out in a way that makes sense. So if I don't have a video out next week, know that one will be coming the following week no matter what. The best way for me to work with them is really using them with other watercolors. I'll use the Magello more for the skin or the hair, areas of detail where I know exactly where I want to lay down, and I don't really want a lot of texture outside of the granulation of the actual pigment, whereas when I want like blooms and stuff like that, I tend to lean towards Daniel Smith or Core. A few of them have some really interesting granulation, which really does make up for the low flow, in my opinion, because they have so much visual punch to them, especially ones like the Cobalt Turquoise, I think it is, and the two different ultramarines. I know that all three of those are blue, but blues do tend to have a lot more granulation in most brands that I've seen. You don't really see granulation in certain colors like the reds. There's very few paints I can think of right off the top of my head that have granulation in a red paint, and one of those I did find in this set in the Rose Madder, which I was pleasantly surprised by. It's not a lot of granulation, but it made the way that it settled on this specific paper very interesting and intriguing. I kind of wanted to showcase that effect, so I made the entire lion behind the character out of that one color in just a very like concentrated mass tone. And yes, before you ask, this is Game of Thrones fan art. And no, it isn't Cersei. It's an original character I use for role-playing with one of my friends. She's a Rain from the whole Reigns of Castamere thing, so I'm not gonna get too into her story. To bring it back to the art, the colors I used in this video were pretty limited. I only had 7 colors. I didn't use a lot of most of them. I kind of wanted it to feel like a split primary, mainly so that I could mix the peachy skin tones that I really wanted and neutralize some shadows down into purples. But I found that I didn't really reach for the blue at all, and I only used one of the yellows. So to list off the colors I picked from the entire set, I did Permanent Red Deep, which is PR 254, Rose Madder, which is PR 176, Permanent Yellow Deep, which is PY 65, Permanent Yellow Light, which is PY 154, PY 154, Cerulean Blue, which is PB 153, Dioxazine Violet, which is PV 23, and Green Gold, which is PY 150. I will have some thoughts on the Green Gold in next week's video. For the most part, I used the Red Deep, the Green Gold, and the Dioxazine Violets in the skin, and I only put in some of the Rose Madder on the cheeks and the fingertips just to tie the colors in all together. The Green Gold makes really nice peachy tones when mixed with reds and violets, so it kind of neutralizes into more of a like Caucasian peachy skin tone. It also made some really, really nice deep warm purples for the shadows when I added it to the Dioxazine Violet. Layering up those colors, it gives a really soft tone for the skin, and it smooths out the hard lines that you get in the lower levels, so it gives kind of an airbrushed look to her skin and really brings forth the lumosity of the paper. Really, really helped me to keep her very pale. I tried to keep the Red Deep to the figure, and then I used the Rose Madder mostly on the lion rampant and in the shadows. That way, even just the reds, even though they were very close in value, there was contrast between them, between the warm red and the cooler red. It separated her from the background, even though the colors are so similar, and let me put a lot of focus onto the graphic element in the background without having too many colors at play and being distracting. I'm planning to do a super in-depth tutorial on my Patreon. It's going to be real time, and it's going to explain every step, my decision makings, all of that. So if you are interested in having a full tutorial of this and other art pieces in the future, check it out in the link in my description and maybe give me a follow there. It's up to you. I don't really want to like pressure people into being part of my Patreon because I feel bad doing that. Gonna go ahead and leave you guys with music. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you guys about a giveaway and some updates with my shop.
don't wanna fight with you.
Thanks for hanging out and watching me paint. I hope you got to paint or sketch along with me. Now on to the news about the giveaway and stuff, and my shop. So the first things first, my shop updates go live on June 10th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be tonight at midnight if you're watching this when the video's released. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. I've got originals I've never listed before. There's a limited edition foiled print of this piece of Alex. There's Patreon rewards from other months, and I have a really cool holo print that I did for Patreon a few months ago that I absolutely adore. There will be a coupon code for my patrons, but that will be discussed in a private post there because I have to do it in a complicated way. So, giveaway. The giveaway is going to be pretty simple, and it's more just to have fun with you guys and to give back to my viewers. You don't have to be following me or subbed on any platform. I'd really appreciate it, but I'm not going to require it. So what I want you to do is, if you want to enter the giveaway and you are 18 years old or you have your parents' permission, to write RAIN, the word RAIN, in the comments below. I'll use a randomizing website to pick 2 winners, and I'll send you guys some nice generous samples of a few random colors from this Magello set. Legal disclaimers. This is going to be for US citizens only, because I can't afford international shipping costs right now. I'm really, really sorry to my international followers, but I'm not making money off of this channel, and I can't afford $20 to $50 in shipping. There's no purchase necessary. You need to be 18 or older to enter or have your parents' permission. And it's just going to be a few like watercolor half pans. They might not even be full. It's just going to be for fun, so you guys can try out these nice paints with me too. I will announce the winners in next week's video, so stay tuned to that. And I want to thank you guys again for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe. Have a good one.